So, welcome to today's masterclass, leveraging your technology. I have a small confession to make. When I did the masterclass live earlier, I forgot to press the record button. So, I am re-recording as a Loom video. I'm going to introduce a new piece of technology there called Loom, which we use to do all of our recordings. So, bear with me, and I hope you find this session useful. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Cheryl Sharp. I am the founder and CEO of Pink Pig Financials, and we are a digital accountancy practice helping business owners to streamline the accountancy process to make it simple and easy. More importantly, to give time back to business owners so they can do more of what they love with who they love. So, here's the thought of the day. Efficiency is doing better what is already being done by Peter Drucker. There are so many processes and systems in your business, some of which may have already been systemised, others may be manual. But by leveraging the technology available, you'll increase your efficiency and save time and stress. Before we get stuck in, I just want to throw in our usual disclaimer. This educational masterclass is of a general nature and, of course, no substitute for tailored advice specific to your particular circumstances. Every business is different, even within the same market segment. So the way you work can be quite different to others in similar or same industries. Okay, let's get going. So, have you ever spent hours researching potential new technology or an app, loaded it all up, and started working with it, only to find it has a major process missing that you need? I know I have. Early days, very long time ago, but it still happens. Or do you even have two apps you wish you could talk to each other to save that's your double handling? It's likely there is an app out there that meets your needs and syncs with other apps that you use. And in this masterclass today, we'll provide you with some insights from our experience with business processes and apps in your type of business. And this is both my experience as a business owner doing this for my business and my experience working with our clients and doing it for their businesses. So we will kick off with a look at the key benefits of systemisation, then briefly overview what constitutes as an app stack and why this is important to businesses. Then we're going to delve a little into some industry-specific processes to give you something to work off of. And then we'll run through and recommend a process to help you choose and implement apps. And of course, finally, share some resources to help you with your next steps. So, what are the benefits of better systemisation? In my view, they're perfectly captured in what we refer to as the 3 S's. Every business needs all 3 of these. First of all, you've got sustainability, which means the business can operate without heavy reliance on us, the business owners. 2, scalability, which means that the systems and procedures that are in place will allow the business to grow without the wheels falling off. How would your business cope currently if your turnover doubled? Has it got the potential to scale to that size? And then finally, saleability is as you'd expect. It's the business needs to be attractive for a future buyer, and having systems and less reliance on owners increases that value of your business. Now, even if your end goal isn't to sell your business, it's really worthwhile making sure that it is in that sort of position for when you hand it to another person, like your succession planning or something, or even just the fact if you don't even know what your end goal is, making it a saleable asset and obviously as valuable as possible will then give you options in the future. Now, of course, there are many other benefits of systemisation, such as efficiency, consistency, quality, ease of training, cost savings, and so on. But in reality, they all fall into one of those 3 main areas you can see on the screen. So we often refer to the technology systems you use as your app stack. And this is what we're talking about today, how to enhance your 3 S's using technology, or more specifically, using your app stack. But what is your app stack? So let's put a frame of reference around today's webinar. So what are the 4 components of your app stack? Firstly, you'll have all your existing apps, pre-built or custom-built systems, and even the glorious spreadsheets with complex formulas, apps, connectivities like G Suite. You've got all the apps in there. So it's all the software tools in the business. However, the information is passed between these systems is also part of the stack. So integration between them will save you time and reduces errors as it avoids the need for double entry. For example, does your website contact us page generate a client in your customer database or your CRM package? Do proposals or quotes flow into invoicing and job management? This is what we mean by integration. And this is a really important point because most apps will tell you who they integrate with, but not too much detail on how they integrate. For example, does your point of sale system send individual transactions or a daily lump sum to your accounting system? And things like that. The third piece of the stack puzzle is the platform the apps or systems are run on. So do you have in-house equipment? Do they run on an outsourced surface, or are you already using the cloud? So if this sounds like a foreign language to you, what I'm referring to is the benefit of having access to the systems or software you use from anywhere, i.e. from your browser. Can you access them from your browser, your internet browser, so like Safari, Chrome, or whatever the Microsoft version is? I don't know, sorry. And can you get it on your mobile, for example, or is it only installed on your laptop? Things like that. That's what we mean by the platform that it sits on. And then the final critical piece is how you back up your data and ensure that your customer data, all the information and the business interactions are secure. So the global pandemic has taught us many things, and one of which is how important it is to keep your data safe and accessible from every location or any location. There's also strict privacy legislation being introduced around the world. Obviously, we've got GDPR, but there's more to come. So making sure that your technology needs to comply with this. So why is your app stack worthy of all this attention? And we're going to go through some answers to that question. So first of all, systems and processes are essential for growth. As your business grows, bottlenecks will appear. Quite often they're us, the business owners, but I won't say that. But technology and improved systems can help reduce these bottlenecks. High growth businesses must have systems in place to handle the growth predicted in the marketing plans. For example, the increase in customers or projects or sales volumes. And manual systems at this point just won't cut the mustard. Your technology stack has a direct impact on your profitability. So a bad app stack could reduce your profitability by costing you sales due to lack of sales process tools or inaccurate costings, but it can also increase your costs due to things like wasted time, tasks being done in the wrong order, inability to manage due to lack of process or double entry of information and things like that. Good data is critical to make good business decisions. Your systems need to provide you with some accurate and timely data so that you can make good business decisions, like whether the projects are profitable or if a specific product is making you money. So the more up-to-date and accurate your data is, the better your decisions will be. Your technology stack can help increase team efficiency and customer satisfaction, which are always a huge win. Having documented processes and systems is essential to ensure that your business is efficient, which will in turn mean that you'll have a happy team environment and, of course, happy customers. And finally, technology provides greater ability to work. So the right tools will help you and your team to work where and when they need to, be that on site, remotely, in the office, on the train, on a beach, wherever they need to be. And this is one of the things that we have found at Pink Pig. We are all cloud-based, have been for quite a few years now. And it's given my team the ability to travel. One of the team travelled quite a bit last year and early this year. And without having the right technology in place, she wouldn't have been able to do that. And obviously, as business owners, sometimes, unfortunately, we need to work while on holiday. So making sure you've got availability to what you need is key. Obviously, I don't advocate working on holiday, but I do appreciate it sometimes is a necessity, unfortunately. So moving on, we've got here the productivity pyramid. Nice little tongue twister for you there. And this shows how we can get better at leveraging from our business. So how we can work smarter, not harder. Step 1 of the pyramid is all about getting better at what you're doing. So by undertaking training, studying, continual professional development, etc., getting better at utilising the technology that you already have in your business. And this is really important at this stage. It's mastering what you're already doing. Step 2 is increasing the number of people doing the work in your business. But either by employing or contracting new people to help you will free up more time to move up the pyramid. And remember, your team will need to know how to use all the existing technology and systems as well. Step 3 is then to invest in better systems to increase efficiency. For example, systems to automate booking appointments or providing reminders to customers or creating invoices as soon as your quotes have been accepted. One of my favourites, invoicing. And this is what we're talking about today. It's the technology you can adopt to increase your efficiency. But first, everybody on the team must already be using your existing systems and technology well, so they can be involved in finding better ways of working. Step 4 is to invent your own systems or technology which suit your business. This could be improving the way your technology integrates. For example, you may already have Xero, but you want to integrate it with a time management system or stock management solution. So you're effectively inventing the way that those systems talk to each other in a way that gives you the information you need in the most efficient and accurate way. And when I say invent, it's more like you're inventing your own process. You're not inventing the software, you're inventing your process, because the process, you need to put that in place. And then you've got step 5, and it's all about innovation. And this is where you receive the highest possible return with the lowest time investment. And at this stage, you might even consider throwing out a number of systems you're currently using in favour of one that avoids the need for complex integrations. An example of this might be to invest in a more expensive technology solution that gives you far better information and a much better return. One example of this innovation in a number of businesses, especially what we see, is the way that business owners have thrown away their old cash book systems and adopted Xero, for example. I remember years ago doing manual accounts and books, and I would have literally 6 or 7 hardback books on my desk, and now I just have one piece of software that does everything. So now you know the need for an app stack. How do you choose the right apps for your business? Working out where to start can be difficult, and there are so many apps with so many different functions. Deciding what to try at first can be overwhelming. So take that step back and consider what issues you're facing in your business. Do you currently have a system, process, or some technology which is being underutilized? And could that resolve the issue if it was used to its best capability? An example of this is one of the new features in Gmail. So we currently use Calendly for all of our bookings, pay extra for it, and it doesn't really integrate with... it does kind of integrate, but not as good as I'd like it to. And Gmail have just recently launched their appointment schedules, which is all integrated in with Gmail. Really simple and easy to use. And of course, it's part of the subscription, so it's free. So we're in the process of swapping over from Calendly to the Gmail appointments. So that's something that was being underutilized and is going to improve some of the things for us, both efficiency-wise and cost-wise. But for some issues, perhaps it's training that's needed rather than new technology. So once you've prioritised the issues in your business, which you currently don't have a solution for or can be improved, it's time to undertake research on the most suitable technology. Finding out what apps are available, reviewing them and comparing them can obviously suck up hours of time that could be better off used doing sales making activities or looking after your customers, things like that. Xero alone have got way over 800 apps. I think it's a lot more than that now in their marketplace, but there are thousands globally. So how do you make sure that the apps you choose deliver the functionality you need? And it's, as I said before, it's harder to find out. It's harder to find out what an app doesn't do than what it does do. And then, just as you think you found the right app, a new app might appear in the marketplace which could be better. Available apps are changing daily with new apps, new functionalities, and even buyouts. We've got an issue at the moment where our practice management software has been bought out by another firm who I do not agree with their business practices, their morals, their values, any of it at all. So we now have got to reevaluate where we're at, look at options and make that change. Xero, for example, purchased an invoice lending app called Waddle, and they've got a few other things that they've purchased. Dext, formerly known as Receipt Bank, have recently, in the last couple of years, repurchased another piece of software called Xavier, so it's all under one thing. But staying up to date with all of these changes is time consuming, but it needs to happen regularly to ensure that you stay ahead of the competition and obviously keep improving your business. Working directly with an app supplier can carry risk, as their whole drive is to sell you their product and not the best products for your needs. So what are some of the systems or processes in your business that can be systemised with an app or technology? We're going to take a look at some different industries in a minute and look at all the processes. But I just want to point out that app for app's sake is not the right approach here. As I've said, you need to look at what the app software, whatever you want to call it, the technology is going to do for you. What benefit is it going to give you? And making sure that you are solving a problem or making things better. Because just having tech for tech's sake will just then completely blow your mind as well. So as I said, the next few slides are going to help you see that there's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and careful planning is essential as opposed to jumping on the bandwagon of that shiny new app that you saw on social media, because it may not be right for you and your needs. So yeah, I'm going to go through, and if once you've watched the recording, or if you was on the webinar earlier today, if you've got any questions, then please do just drop us an email and we can answer them for you. So we're going to start with hospitality, and some of the processes that a hospitality business needs may include what point of sale system is being used, how does it connect to your accountancy system, and how does it reconciliation to work, or how does reconciliation work, sorry. Does the business take online bookings as well as phone bookings? Can you confirm bookings back to the customer? Employee scheduling, timekeeping and payroll is obviously quite essential as well. Do you process vouchers? So how do you track those giveaways or purchase vouchers? What value you've still got to come in, things like that. Are you running a loyalty program and do you need to keep track of spend? Do you provide discounts for loyalty? Are you marketing to customers or prospects for new business? Do you keep email addresses and send notices, incentives, and rewards? Do you track where leads and bookings come from? What is your marketing plan? And obviously, what systems and processes do you need to support that? How do you run multiple outlets or a side business like a food truck? How do you keep revenue and expenses separate for reporting? And then you've got, what information do you need to make your business decisions? So, for example, do you need daily, weekly, monthly analysis? Do you need cost versus GP analysis, headcount versus revenue? All of those sort of things. So that's an overview on hospitality. Then coming on to retail and wholesale. So some of the typical processes here may include what channels you're selling through, be that online, retail, business to business, pop-up retail outlets, markets, through other people and things like that. Do you manufacture products from raw materials or from sub-products? How do you purchase from suppliers? How do you forecast demand to calculate when and how much to order? How many products do you sell? Do you drop ship or do you run your own warehouse or warehouses? Have you got international sales? Where's the source of truth for stock on hand for multiple channels? And do you have product variants, like especially for international sales, different variants for different countries? Are the products barcoded for scanning? How is shipping integrated? Have you got multiple shipping agents? Is freight on charged? Or how do you reconcile freight charges inwards and outwards? Once again, you've got your customer database. How do you market to them? How do you track sales for loyalty discounts? And also think about how your business would run if you lose a terminal or a printer. Do you carry spares or do you have a service contract with a point of sale supplier? We've then got building and construction businesses. So quoting is always a major process, marking up plans, quantity surveying, maintaining supplier price lists and labour rates, etc. And there are still a number of businesses that use a spreadsheet to help with this process, but is that the most efficient? And can that be accessed by all of the team that need to do it? Are your quotes then automated onto a job or project with automated billing? How do you manage project scheduling and staff availability when making commitments to customers? How do the staff enter their timesheets and additional purchases? And how are those then included in the project profitability and billing? Obviously, there's always extras, so how do you account for that? And make sure they're not forgotten when you bill. How do you capture photos or videos on site? This could be helpful for relaying instructions to the team, for example, or having discussions with the customer, reporting issues to suppliers. How are these stored against the job or the supplier for tracking? How are variations managed? Can you vary quotes on site with customer sign-off? How do you record health and safety and reporting outcomes or performance management in toolbox meetings? And obviously then management reporting as well. And obviously a big one for construction clients, how do you handle retentions and deposits so you can predict future cash flow accurately? And then taking that one step further for the individual traders and services, these can be small job focus as well as obviously major new builds. So you've got job management is much different to project management. How would that work? And then again, you've got quoting systems or online booking systems and processes. How do you schedule the work? How do you monitor for completion? How do you deal with delays or variations? How do you track and make sure that you get paid? Very important part of the job. Do you need on-site billing and payment facilities on a mobile device? If so, what type of device? So some apps may only work on iOS or Android, some work on both. But how does that then also integrate with your accounting system? Do you take deposits for your jobs and how do you manage those? How does the team enter their timesheets and expenses, as we've had before? How do you manage the parts and stock within vehicles and within the warehouse? And how often do you stock take them? How do you integrate health and safety into the process for on-site staff to save time and improve the customer experience? And again, the photo evidence and documentation that needs to be stored against the job or the customer. Do you need to GPS track vehicles for scheduling and customer comms, let them know when their engineer will be with them? And do you have knowledge, like a knowledge database for common faults or jobs, and that can help them with training and skill building? And finally, going to move on to professional services. So how do you store your customer data? How do you track where leads come from against your marketing spend? Do you have a sales process to convert leads into a customer? And is that automated to a degree, even if it's just task reminders for staff for each step or the follow-up process? How are your quotes or proposals structured? Are they on an automated system with electronic acceptance and then integrate into your project management or invoicing, or both, like we have? What project or job management tool do you need to check on jobs, have issues escalated where needed, and manage resource allocation and bottlenecks and things like that? Are tasks automatically assigned to the team in their to-do lists? Can the team enter their time and expenses directly onto the project management system to track project profitability, staff performance, and any other management reporting needs? Do you have automated invoice reminders or debtor follow-up? So we may have missed your industry, and apologies if we have. We've tried to cover a wide range here because obviously we've only got a certain amount of time. So if we have missed your industry, then please do tell us. Just hit the reply button to the email with this recording and tell us your unique story and needs. And we're happy to take any specific or complex issues that you may have and help you with those. That's fine. So, what do we know so far? We know why we need good systems and processes for efficiency, cost management, staff management, customer experience, etc. But we also know it's a complex problem. Which app does it do everything we need? How does it integrate to our other systems, etc.? We can now identify some of the unique needs of your businesses and how you operate. So how do we go about implementing new technology or apps and improve our processes? With a process, of course. So there are 5 phases in the process to develop your technology or app stack, and this is what we use internally and with our clients. So we start off with a scope and a business case to identify why, who, what, how, etc. We then map out all of our existing business processes. We then determine the options and select our app stack and integration design. We then train, test, trial, and implement. And then finally, it's review success and ensure that you got the support you need. So let's have a look at each phase in a bit more detail. So firstly, why do we scope the business case? Well, we make sure that everyone is on the same page about the overall project and that we've got clear objectives and measurements for the outcomes. If we can design what success looks like up front, then we'll know when we've been successful. But it also clarifies why you're doing this. What is that return on investment? What is the business case? Will completing the project save you time and money? Will it make you more money, or is it just needed for compliance? Scoping also ensures that everybody gets involved up front. That would be users, suppliers, customers, partners, including us as your accountant. And this means that everyone's issues get into the melting point. I can't even speak now. Sorry, it's been a long day. Melting pot from the start. and will minimise any resistance to change or lack of adoption when we implement. So all the inputs and the outputs, any risks or assumptions, specific inclusions or exclusions, and anything that you're not prepared to compromise on is recorded from the beginning. And it's then a checkpoint that you can check back at to make sure that you've covered everything that you need to. And then finally, it puts a time frame around the project. And don't it always takes longer than you think it's going to. We've been trying to find a suitable app for a certain problem and process within our business, and it's so far taken us possibly nearly even a year to get to the point where we can find the right software, because we just can't find it at the moment. So yes, define what you would like the end point to be, when you'd like it to be done by, but also be flexible, as in it may take longer. And is it worth it taking longer to get the right result? Or is version 1 better and it can be built upon to get version 2 and so on? So once we've got the high level scope, we can then put on our business analysis hat. How do the processes work now? What happens? Who makes decisions? Who does what bit? And where are the checkpoints? And again, this is a really good chance for everybody to have their say, and also a chance to identify the bottlenecks, be that time, wastage, lack of quality or accuracy. And all of these can be addressed in the next phase of the project. As an output, all processes should be documented via a simple flowchart or Word doc, or even a quick video if that will help. Just like a Loom video like this. Brilliant. And then these processes will form the basis of the final process documentation for the business. And as we talked about before, this is essential to manage staff, train new staff, and of course, handle that growth. Once you've defined all of your processes, you can then start looking at what apps fit. And this is where a specialist can really help. So each app will have specific functions that they do or don't do. So these must be mapped to your needs. Are you needing job management or detailed project management? How do you link up proposals, invoicing, time and expense, inventory and financial management? How does each app integrate? How will it all fit together? And how do you pay for the app, i.e. is it the number of users, volume of transactions, etc.? And this is a really good point here, that not all software or apps will integrate with each other. And that's not a problem. There is a software out there called Zapier, which will link these sort of softwares together. So we've got a couple of pieces of software, for example. So we use Zapier for the contact page on our website to set that up as a contact. So when that's filled in, it then sends a zap over to our practice management software and sets up that person in our practice management software. So we know that we've got a new prospect. We've also got a zap for our B1G1 giving. So when we complete a job, a zap is set off and it automatically then puts the giving in the basket in the B1G1 basket. So just because they don't actually integrate directly with each other doesn't mean that they can't. So if there's something that you really want, they don't directly link together, look at, would Zapier be an option to link them together? How does the app look and feel to you? What is the background of the developer? What is their support like? And what is the ongoing development program? And does that fit in with your goals? Then we'd say demo the final shortlist. So this is what I'm doing at the moment with our practice management that I mentioned earlier. I'm looking at all the options and appraising them, seeing what they can and can't do. And I'll then put them all into a shortlist and demo them and get the team involved and make sure that they're all happy with it and them to try out, because they're the ones that are using it at the end of the day. So maybe run a trial to test it out to ensure that it does your specific needs. So this is what we'll do. We'll take a job that we've got that we're working on and we will get a trial and we will run that job in both systems just to see how it will work and if it actually does it the way we want it to. Then you can use a prepared evaluation sheet that works for you. So you can look at things like price versus functionality, ease of use, local product, user group, development program, etc. And you can then make sure that your most important criteria is at the top and you can evaluate. And then based on the results of the evaluation, you'll be able to define your app stack and work out how to train everyone and obviously implement it. And finalise the last stage of your project budget. And then we can finally implement the app stack. So completing any testing, any trials, any parallel runs. You can then update your documentation or your flowcharts to reflect the new processes, and of course use them then to train the team and update job descriptions. At this point as well, you'd perform any data migration and cleansing, and then of course you'd go live. Woohoo! Either phasing things in or just a full stop changeover, whichever works for you best. And then once completed, like any project, it's ideal to review what's happened and measure your success against what was agreed in the project scope. So did you meet the business case? Are all the specific needs catered for? Is the team happy? And are the customers happy? You can take on any learnings and implement across actions to resolve or learn for your next review. Are all the integrations and reconciliations working? Do you have checkpoints to ensure quality and accuracy? Do you, your team, and any new members of the team need any follow-up training? And consider splitting training of the monthly functions from the daily functions, of course, to ease the brain overload. And then finally, set up time for the next review and a mechanism to track ongoing team ideas to consider in that review. A formal review should be completed at least annually to keep up with any changes, but a review will also be essential for any major business decisions that affect your business structure, your processes, your volumes and your staffing. And it's probably key to point out here as well that you don't have to do the whole business in one go. You can look at specific areas of the business as you go. Doesn't need to be a huge project, and you can have different people doing different parts of it. As long as they're talking to each other, if anything needs to integrate, then that's fine. So next steps. As you can see, systemising your business is a very involved process, and the benefits to be gained are potentially massive too. For example, if you could improve your overall efficiency and lift your return by 1% when your turnover is 500,000 a year, then that's the equivalent of an extra 5,000 of profit every year. Of course, you'll probably be looking for more of a gain than 1%, but it just shows you what that little 1% is. Likewise, what could you do if systemisation freed up 5 hours of yours or your team's time every week? What would your life be like? You can focus more, we get your team to focus more on the more human aspect of your business rather than the process hidden behind the back. You can stop working ridiculously long hours potentially, have a break, have a day off. How could it help you? What would it do if you could reduce your errors and mistakes by using better automation? How much stress would that reduce for you? So the aim of this webinar is to help you see the benefit of taking a strategic and planned approach to systemising your business. We want you to get the benefits for a better return, greater efficiency, and of course, reduce the risk of errors. So what are your options from here? Doing nothing is not an option. Doing what you've always done is unlikely to give you the same results you've had in the past. So you'll actually become backwards. And remember, we want you to have that improved return, more free time, and of course, less stress. Remember to put your oxygen mask on yourself first. Planning for sustainable improvement starts with you and the leaders in your business. Make a clear plan. Don't just jump on those bright, shiny objects. We all do it. Those latest new piece of technology you've heard all about, you've probably potentially even Googled Zapier by now, or Loom if you've not heard of them before. But take it back right to the beginning. Make a plan and don't get sidetracked by those. Those bits will come. Focused on what you can do as opposed to worrying about what is out of your control. And of course, we're here for you and we want to help. As I said before, the information in this educational masterclass is general in nature and of course no substitute for specific tailored advice and support. So there are several ways we can help you more specifically beyond today's webinar. We'd love to help you make a better plan with your systemisation. So we're not here to sell you technology or apps. On the contrary, what we want you to do is to step back and define what you really want in your business from technology. For example, do you just want to get better at using technology you already have, or do you want to assess whether there are better options out there to increase your efficiency? And stepping back is all about making a better plan. So scoping what you really want from technology first. In other words, that's step 1 we talked about, as opposed to jumping straight to step 4, which is the implementation. By scoping the work first, you can start to involve the right technology experts to help you map out your processes, review or build upon your app stack, and then implement the right solution. So liken this to the planning stage of building a house. Work out what you want first, what your budget is, and what you're looking to achieve before you start talking to the builder. If you're not quite ready to commit to a paid service, we can send you an app stack project worksheet, which probably actually is going to be with this email with the recording. So do please take a look at that, and that will help you to make a plan for building your app stack. We can then meet with you to review your worksheet to ensure you've scoped out all your projects and have a realistic plan for building and implementing your app stack. Or if you need some help with the whole process, from planning to implementation and review, you might be interested in our full service project scoping service. And if you're completely unsure where to start, then we can obviously meet for a complimentary meeting to establish the goals for your business. Questions? Obviously, this is the recording, so there are no questions. So before I finish up the recording, I just want to share this quote with you. Software is the magic thing whose importance only goes up over time. So make a simple plan today, commit to at least 3 actions that you'll take as a result of today's masterclass, write them down, give them an owner and a completion date. And remember, if you need our support, we are here for you. So thank you for taking the time to watch this recording. And if you was one of the ones who joined earlier, thank you for joining live. I do appreciate that your time is very valuable. Along with the video with this, along with the email with this video was a link to our exit survey. I'd be grateful if you could click on the link and give us some feedback on today's content, because we can help this to improve our future masterclasses and of course what other topics you'd like to see from us. So I hope that I've given you plenty of ideas to ponder over and some clear next steps for you and your business. And I hope to see you at a masterclass again soon.